a century ago, in 1912, Elfinwild Presbyterian Church was born in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. In this time, our congregation has grown from a humble 27-member congregation to our current 745-member family, including over 240 new adult members in the last 6 years.
Remember that you go nowhere by accident. Wherever you are going, God is sending you there. Wherever you are, God has put you there. He wants to do something in you and through you in that place. Brothers and sisters of Elfinwild Church, perhaps God has us in this place for such a time as this.
We are truly blessed. It is hard to believe, but it has been 3 years since we embarked upon our For Such a Time as This capital campaign. It was an extraordinarily successful campaign, raising almost $1.7 million from you, the members of our growing Elfinwild congregation. This amount was almost 4 times the amount of our annual congregational giving. This was an especially important campaign for a number of reasons. First, it enabled us to expand and improve our campus on Mount Royal Boulevard. The principal expansion and most apparent improvement was the construction that connects the Christian Education Building to the Sanctuary Building. This new building not only provides a new gathering space, but also allows access to our facilities for all our members and visitors with a new elevator installed in the vestibule of this new space. This expansion also allowed us to create a new, safer entrance for children entering the Christian Education Building for Sunday school or preschool. The campaign For Such a Time as This expanded the footprint of our campus by allowing us to acquire neighboring properties. This enabled us to add handicap parking and a youth house to serve the younger members of our congregation. Besides the visible improvements to our church home, we were also able to update the original 1927 electrical wiring, install a new roof over the offices and library, and to install new outdoor underground water and electrical services. Although these updates were not as apparent, they were extremely important, vital to bringing the Elfinwild Church Sanctuary Building up to the current building industry standards. They also help our members and visitors to Elfinwild Presbyterian Church to continue to safely worship and utilize the facilities necessary to accomplish the outreach of the church's ministries. Over the past few years, our part-time Director of Children's Ministries position was converted to a full-time position. When our long-time, part-time Director of Music retired in 2006, we expanded the position to full-time. For the past few years, we served our youth with the full-time Director of Student Ministries. Our new Associate Pastor, Jason Ray, will now oversee that ministry and also serve the church in other areas that require an ordained minister. An improved facility enhances our ministry, but alone cannot provide that ministry. In order to adequately support our community and our growing congregation, it was necessary to make these changes and additions to the staff at Elfinwild Presbyterian Church. Now it is time for our congregation to affirm our commitment to our growing staff, ministries, and the needs of the physical structures that make up our church. It is time to step up with our financial support. Our ministry is growing and expanding, and the cost of doing that ministry and mission is also growing and expanding. As we embark on the second century here at Elfinwild Presbyterian Church, we have 2 important financial goals to meet. First, as our ministry and missions grows, the cost of fulfilling and growing that ministry and mission must also expand. Based on current operating expenses, it is estimated that we will require a 16% increase in our operating budget to maintain and grow Elfinwild Presbyterian Church. This amounts to an $80,000 increase over the 2010 budget. Our operating budget is the priority in this year's stewardship campaign.
Our operating budget is this year's biggest priority for the stewardship campaign. We need a 16% increase for 2011, which is approximately $80,000. To achieve this goal, we're asking each family to prayerfully consider increasing their operating pledge by 1% of their total income. For a family making $100,000 per year, that would be approximately $20 a week. For someone that makes $30,000 a year, that would be roughly $1 a day. By working together and all increasing our pledging proportionately, we can easily meet this objective.
Our second financial goal for the Preparing for the Second Century campaign is removing the remaining debt we incurred during the For Such a Time as This campaign and to allow us to take care of additional capital needs. Thanks to the generous contributions of our congregation, we borrowed less than we expected during the last capital campaign. Our desire is to pay off this debt as soon as possible so that we can minimize our interest payments. This debt currently stands at $250,000. We are therefore asking everyone to prayerfully consider making an additional and separate gift to debt repayment and future capital projects. We are asking you to consider a sacrificial gift for the next 3 years towards this effort. The debt will be repaid first. This will allow us to begin moving forward and to address more important capital needs now before they become issues. As soon as our current debt is retired and money is on hand, new capital projects will start. These projects include, but not necessarily in this order, refurbishment of the boilers that heat the building, office renovation and replacement of outdated office equipment and computers, sanctuary window, step and door repairs and upgrades, carpet replacement in the church building, sanctuary air conditioning, new Christian education building windows, and youth house basement renovations. We will undertake these projects to correct issues before they become a burden on the operating budget in the years to come. These are just a few of the projects that, along with a number of others, amount to approximately $800,000 in upgrades and repairs that we would like to undertake. Please know that our first and primary need is for the operating budget to grow. If you have to choose where to increase your financial gift, please consider the operating budget.
Friends, I hope you can be excited along with me for the second century of ministry that Elfinwild Church is entering into soon. In 99 years, the names and faces have changed around here, but the heart and soul of who we are and what we do hasn't changed. We are following Christ's Great Commission to make disciples of all nations, to baptize, and to teach the ways of God. It is an exciting time to be a part of this growing community. It's not lost on me that the third year of this campaign will be the new dawn of the second century of ministry of Elfinwild Presbyterian Church. That's why it's called Preparing for the Second Century. I invite you to prayerfully consider what your role and your participation will be in what God is doing here in and through this congregation.